I know how we don't test it. Because we drink beer and we eat Chipotle before we go live.
Can you hear
darkness,
us?
My old friend.
Can you hear us, guys? Can you hear us? Please, if you're in the comments, please let us know if you can hear us.
I hear stuff now. Thank you.
Okay. Perfect. Anyway,
Thank you, British Raven.
welcome, guys. Sorry about that again. We suck at this, but we're trying our best.
Both teams are trying very hard.
Anyway, we were just talking about how beautiful it is here in Sarasota, Florida, and we are live from spring training, and we will be live all week. And it's awesome when the three of us get to come together. But we were just telling you, our buddy Rogers flew here on an aeroplane this morning and joined us in pretty fun fashion. What'd you do, Bri?
Well, when I got here, I immediately jumped into the pool fully clothed.
Now, when you say fully clothed, do you mean you had shoes on?
Still had my shoes on.
He had like a pair of jeans, a pullover, and a pair of Hey Dudes on, and he just jumped straight into the pool. He yelled cannonball and didn't cannonball.
Didn't cannonball. I jackknifed in, motherfuckers. All right. So you guys can all suck my white ass. And we have sound, Joe. Yes.
Nope. There was no flippies off the dock, but yeah, he definitely jumped straight into the pool.
This man does not need water wings. I'll tell you that much. All right.
And if you were one of our Huckleberries, you would have been able to see that live. That happened maybe about an hour ago now. We just scarfed down some Chipotle, and we're ready to talk some baseball, some Gary Williams, some other stuff.
Can you hand me a fucking beer first? I mean,
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Give you a beer, bud. I'm sorry.
Jesus, this is bad.
Angry Elf. We have sound. Thank God.
We have sound and we have beer.
We have beer. We have two of the main
Not
things.
a sponsor, but you know.
Wish you were.
Wish you were. If you want to be a sponsor, Mr. Natural Light.
Again, give us the ball. We want it. Yeah. We need it. We're ready.
You got a bat hanging out of the left cave right there, my man.
Oh, no.
Can't see.
That's okay. So, it happens every now and then. Anyway, happy 80th birthday to our namesake on this podcast, Mr. Gary Williams himself. Can we get a round of applause for Gary making it to 80? Gary Williams. Oh, man. My friend Nick is going to come on this podcast at some point in the next couple of weeks because I was at the judges bench in Ellicott City for the first time the other night, and he went on about a 20-minute rant about how Gary Williams left us in dire straits and completely tanked the Maryland program. And that's why we had to go hire some random dude from Kansas. Random dude from Kansas. And I was like, I don't agree with anything you're saying, but you need to say this on a live form. Like, you have to, because it was fucking awesome. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, but fuck yeah. Good for Gary.
Happy 80th. He made it.
80th birthday. It's crazy.
He made it.
I can't believe that guy is 80 years old.
What a win.
I mean, again, I hope I make it to 80. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
I hope I do too. I just I never thought of him as being, I thought he was like in his early 70s. I didn't.
Caitlin's killing you before 80, man.
Move that. That's in the way of your head. The other mic is literally in the way of your face.
Oh, that's okay. Nobody needs to see my face on this thing anyway.
Show us your face. We won't see your face. See ya. Put her down.
We could have let it fall slowly. That would have been more funny, but we missed our opportunity now. Anyway.
New merch is hot. I'm wearing the Gary Williams banana hammock, which you haven't seen yet, but you will shortly.
If you're a Huckleberry.
New hats, guys. I know you've been clamoring for the new camo hats, and we've got them. And they got some Oriole green on them, and we're just
Oriole
in time for
green.
baseball season. Oriole red, Oriole orange. Oh my god! I'm looking at the hats; they're predominantly green, but they have Oriole orange. That's what happens when you drink 4 beers before potting. Sorry about that.
Oriole green, you're a clown ass.
There's some Oriole green on this hat too. Look at that. There's a lot of Oriole green.
This is what happens when all of us get together, by the way, guys. We just enjoy each other's company and have a great time. And my voice gets a little deeper because I drink too many beers, and I can hear Brooks's neck crack. And real nice. He got hairy legs. I mean, what happened?
Speaking of Brooks's neck cracking, how about Brooks's knee just popping out of its socket just like a couple minutes ago? Did you hear that?
What the fist was that?
I mean, guys, I'm old. I'm an old beat up pitcher. Used up.
Is that your previously dislocated knee?
Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Brooks was in high school. He
Mhm.
dislocated his kneecap, which didn't know you could do that, but his kneecap was on the other side of his leg, and I'm sure it didn't feel very good. Sorry, that was a little cringeworthy moment there.
Didn't hurt.
Probably didn't.
Didn't hurt at all.
Probably doesn't feel good, or doesn't sound good.
Crackle worthy. I want to give a shout out to Joe Racky for sucking at Arkansas basketball. That team blows.
Why? Why you gotta hurt Joe like that? What did he do?
What did Joe do to hurt you?
All he's ever done has been one of our most loyal fellow listeners.
Just went
You're
at
just giving him shit for no reason. You want to do that? Who's in here, Brooks? I can't see the.
we got Austin, we got British Raven, we got Pigtown, we got Joe.
Hell yeah.
And some others that I'm probably missing here.
Something I want to bring up now, and when you bring up Ravens, Eric DeCosta kind of gave a little bit more attention to the Justin Tucker situation. And I know we don't really like talking about negativity on the pod, but he gave out a lot of information saying it's concerning. And do you guys have anything you want to add to? They're looking at kickers now. And,
Well, I think they were going to anyway.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he was below average last year, and he was
was.
average the year before.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I just these kind of things I prefer to talk about them after everything's come out, just because we don't have the full story yet. So I don't know. I'm obviously, we all know what's going on here, but we don't have all the answers yet. So I don't know. I'm not going to comment any further. I guess.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I have seen that, like some of the credit card statements where he said where the places say he was banned, he began to continue to use his credit card at said places. So
Like 18 or 19 more times.
Yeah. So these places might not be telling the full truth.
Yeah.
So look, I don't want to shame a guy who look, you're not guilty. He's not guilty right now. He said everything right. But it just seems like there's a lot of fodder going on right now. But with Eric DeCosta saying what he's saying, and the Ravens having the history of Ray Rice in the past, they're going to have to address this at some point or another before the season begins.
Yeah, the Ravens historically just don't mess with this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like they just want to get themselves out of it right away. I don't want to name more names either, but yeah, I just looked out ahead of it. Speaking of Eric Costa, he did. Brooks, did you have anything else on that? I'm sorry.
Not really.
We did.
Saw him in Indy. I walked by him, said, "What's up?"
Yeah. Did he say what's up back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
rubbing bows.
Did you say EDC or did you just say?
I said EDC.
Hell yeah.
Got to.
Got to know. You got to make sure he knows.
I mean,
you.
he had his whole. He had like the whole entourage with him, and they were walking back from the actual combine from Lucas Oil back to the hotel. So I mean, there was nothing I could really say to him.
How was Combine weekend in Indy?
It was fine. I wish I could have got more like live stuff. There really wasn't much worthwhile to give you guys. Like the outside part with like the fan experience was, I mean, it was fine. But honestly, it was a little cold and I didn't want to be out there very long. So it was cold and freaking windy. So it was rough.
Is that a new thing where it's free to park and free to go in? Because I remember they were charging people for a while.
Apparently, from what I'm told, it's always been free.
Wow.
But
cool.
and half the state, like, so you can only get to like half the stadium. So I was kind of hoping I could get around to like McAfee show and like watch that live. But yeah, they kind of cut it off at the halfway point, and then while I was there, it was just like stretching and stuff like that. They weren't doing the drills, and I mean I couldn't stick around for everything just because childcare stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was more cool going out in the city at night, the one night that I went out, and seeing everybody that was out there.
There's so much conversation that goes on that no one really talks about. Even when we talked about the other day on the pod, is that there are not a lot of head coaches out there, but there's still people there.
There's a lot of head coaches there, a lot more than people think.
Yeah, I know. We talked about 3, and then all of a sudden, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 show up. Now that could be competition committee showing up.
Yeah,
stuff like that. But one thing I did want to bring up about the combine is apparently Jalen Milrow's hand size grew drastically between.
Yeah, that was interesting. Been stretching.
His hand size grew almost like an inch.
Oh, yeah, what's he like a Stretch Armstrong or something?
Someone's pulling his fucking finger.
It was like 9/10 of an inch or something like that.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I forget what exactly
How
what it
old
was.
is the guy?
How the fuck does that happen?
He's got to be at least 20, right? Should be
I don't-
done. Your hands
I
should be done
assume so.
growing by then. Is my point. Good for that guy.
Oh,
Going back to EDC though, did you guys see that Marcus Williams was cut? I think we all expected
No,
that, but
I didn't
Marcus
see that.
Marcus Williams
No
was
shit.
cut by the Ravens. This was the year we could get out of that
Not
that
surprising,
contract.
but
It's not surprising. He got benched. He wasn't great last year. He really hasn't been healthy for us since we signed him. I think it's been a pretty poor contract overall. We signed him because he was incredibly safe. He was really good as a safety.
no pun intended.
Yeah, it was incredible. He had never gotten hurt, and of course, like in the third game of as a Raven, he gets hurt, and his whole career with us, it just didn't go very well. But a couple other defensive backs got released too this week. Darius Slay and James Bradbury both got cut by the Eagles, who just won the Super Bowl. So definitely some movement going on in the NFL right now. T. Higgins got franchise tagged as well yesterday. Is any of that stuff you want to talk about, spark a conversation, or you want to get more into baseball?
The ones that you talked about really don't surprise me whatsoever. Darius Slay was long in the tooth. Marcus Williams wasn't, producing whatsoever. So none of that surprises me. The biggest thing I think that's going to happen during the NFL offseason is going to be what happens with Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
That honestly, because if I'm the Lions, I still call them the Redskins. I'm sorry, guys, but if the Commanders, commies, I'm going all in, and I'm trying to get Myles Garrett as best I possibly can.
If you're Washington, I mean,
if I'm Detroit, I'm going all in. Win now. I don't give a damn about what you have going on for the future. Go get him now.
I think there are 31 GMs calling about Myles Garrett. There's got to be.
And what do those two teams have to lose? I mean, your draft pick is basically your first round draft pick is basically a second round pick. So what the hell do you have to worry about?
Yeah,
just go get them.
Yeah.
No, give me the proven Hall of Famer that's still in the prime of his career. Don't give me somebody who hopefully he ends up working out, right? I mean, the percentage is just way better in your favor when you can go get somebody that's proven.
Especially for a team like Washington, who has a quarterback on a rookie contract. And we talk about this so often, how important it is to take advantage of that window, because once that quarterback gets $50-60 million a year, I mean, that's a 20% of your cap hit is one player.
Without a doubt. And I understand the cap goes up every year. Totally get that part, but you need to still pay offensive linemen. And if you have a 10-cent offensive line and you have $100 million quarterback, that's fucking great. Yeah. Until the quarterback gets fucking smashed in the fucking face. And let me throw this out there real quick. It's really hard to throw a football when you're on your ass. So
it's also a sack at that point, so it doesn't matter. That's why Kyle Bowler didn't work out. That guy could throw a football through the goalpost on his ass, and it didn't matter.
Kyle Bowler's hair.
I also want to say this while I'm gonna transition off of football.
Before we do, we forgot about this completely.
Which is
Debo.
Oh,
we didn't talk about this.
Debo Samuel is a Washington Commander, 5th rounder.
That is a steal.
5th rounder.
Oh yeah, 5th. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5th.
That's
5
5
best rappers of all time.
That is
Dylan,
and Dylan.
A lot of Chappelle Show stuff going on in that little 30-second interval there. But yeah, Debo Samuel is a Washington commie, and I know our friends are probably real excited about that.
Oh yeah, Foy has definitely got boner juice going on right now.
Oh man.
Mr. 8-8 Kyle Bowler. You're absolutely right, Austin. Mr. 8-8 Kyle Bowler.
Mr. 8-8 is Jeff Fisher, dude. You need to get out of here.
But hey, Kyle Bowler could throw a football through the uprights from his knee.
To be fair,
the only Jet Teffer quarterback to ever come out of Cal that worked out well was Aaron Rodgers, and I don't like Aaron Rodgers.
But what about
because he's got a D in his last name?
Yes, and he also has a D.
At least I was gonna say at least he has a D. But I mean, you go back and think about like the wide receivers that Kyle Bowler had to throw to. It was, I mean, he had Todd Heap.
Travis Taylor was a 1st-round pick.
Basically, had Todd Heap and Travis Taylor and
Mark Clayton,
who
also couldn't catch the ball.
Yeah.
Always open. Was a lot better. Yeah.
Always open.
Yeah.
Couldn't imagine.
Oh man, it got ugly there for a couple. I mean, for a long time with the Ravens receiving core, it was really ugly.
Derek
Oh,
Mason
didn't
showed
matter.
up.
Derek
British
Mason,
Raven
jeez.
posted this the other day, and it was one of the Ravens that I completely forgot about that I shouldn't forget about because he's a hometown dude. Terrence West.
Terrence West,
Mhm.
he's a Towson guy.
Very, very recently,
Yeah.
a guy that we forgot about very quickly.
I know.
And Pollard from Temple.
Bernard Pollard,
Mhm.
right? No,
The other
no,
Pollard.
Bernard Pierce.
Bernard Pierce.
Bernard
yeah.
Pollard was the guy.
Pollard.
That hates,
Bernard
is the guy
Pollard.
that hates John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Bernard Pierce, Rutgers, right?
No,
Or
Temple.
Temple. You said.
Temple. He went there with the Boyle
Boyles,
brothers.
yeah.
Shout out Boyle brothers.
Yeah.
Those are my
He was
high
really
school
good,
teammates.
like secondary back for us. He wasn't I don't feel like he was ever our starter, right?
Who?
Pierce?
Pierce? No.
No, he was.
No,
like,
he was
like
the
our
change of
second
pace guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's our Justice Hill.
Well,
Chester Taylor.
Ooh, Keith Brookins.
Wow, that's a name.
Damn.
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite secondary running back of all time? Your favorite like change of pace back?
John Olerud. No.
John Olerud.
John Oler, what?
When you think of John Olerud, what team do you think of? Mets,
Toronto.
Blue Jays, or Mariners?
Toronto.
Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toronto.
I think of Mariners just because he was on the Ken Griffey video game.
You don't get a John Olerud reference,
No,
Randall.
you don't. Honestly, that guy was a really good player. Go look at that guy's stats. He hit.
John Olerud went to the Mets.
Yeah.
And Ricky Henderson played for whatever team. Because Ricky Henderson played for so many goddamn
Yeah, he
teams.
played
Ricky did
for
what?
1,000
Ricky
career-
did,
1,000
yeah.
teams at the end of his career.
Ricky like walks or gets a hit. He's on first base. And he goes, "Oh, you're wearing a helmet." Because John Olerud had he got hit in the head and he has to wear a helmet instead of a hat. And Ricky Henderson says to John Olerud, "I used to play with a guy that wore a helmet at first base." And he goes, "That was me." What?
That's so
He
funny.
forgot that he played with John Olerud.
Yeah, that's.
Ricky Henderson was a fucking character, man.
I don't know how we got to John Olerud off of change of pace backs, but we did.
You know,
we
sometimes
didn't even
it's
mention
like-
Carell Buckholzer yet.
To answer your question, though, it would be Mike Allstott. That would be my number one guy. He was because you had Warwick Dunn, who was the shifty guy, and then you had Mike Allstott, who was the hammer.
Yeah. I mean, I think of him more as a fullback, but I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, it's the same.
They used him in
thing.
the same way as
Yeah.
Warwick Dunn. Just
Yeah.
that's the first name that came to my mind.
Darren Sproles was a really good one for several different teams. I remember when Michael Turner was LaDainian Tomlinson's backup for the Chargers. He was so good, and then he obviously went to Atlanta and had a great career. I can't think of anybody else. Brooks.
And I'm blanking on his name right now, but Jamal Lewis is back up.
Priest Holmes.
Priest Holmes.
The guy who
Priest
ran for like
Holmes.
2,000 yards.
That
for the
went
Chiefs
to-
a couple
that went to
years in
the-
a row.
He went,
went
to
to the
Kansas City,
Chiefs.
He went to Kansas City and put his dick out.
Yeah.
Like, here, hi, I'm here.
So good.
And then when he
Let's
stopped,
go.
And was potentially better than Jamal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And then after him was Larry Johnson, who they ran into the ground in like 4 years because
Oh
they
my
gave him like 1,600 carries in 4 years.
Yeah.
Random reference. They Ben McDonald with him. They just basically made him give him the ball every single time.
Yeah.
Like LSU gave Ben McDonald the ball every single time. I think
Yeah.
Ben McDonald was 340 innings in one college baseball season, not a major league baseball season.
I saw Rip on the Ripken show talking to Ben McDonald about how he had a clause in his contract he wasn't allowed to fight gators. Did you guys see that on the Ripken show?
yeah.
That's crazy.
No more
He
hunting
like-
gators.
Yeah. He was like, I don't know. Me and my friends, we would go down there. I was just like, dude, what?
He'd jump
that's
in the
not a
water and
regular.
fucking
He's
wrestle
talking about it like it's a
gators.
regular
Yeah.
thing to do. It's
Dude,
definitely not.
that's a dude. That's a dude I want to share like 10 beers with.
That's if I could have a bar with 10 people at it, I want Ben McDonald, Ben McDonald, Ben McDonald, Ben McDonald, Ben McDonald, Ben McDonald, and the Gator.
Yeah.
Vontae
And then Jim
Leach.
Palmer at the end just talking about himself.
Yeah. Old Cakes over there wearing fucking pantyhose.
Hey, I know the Orioles,
And,
stuff, but I was really good.
Vontae Leach was a stud, and the
Fullback, though.
the art of the
He's a
fullback,
yeah.
and David Montgomery is a great call, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's been really, really good the last 2 years. I've been saying on our podcast for a couple years that I think he's the best. That's the best running back duo in the league.
Yeah.
There was Earth, Wind, and Fire, I believe, with the Giants, and I want to say it was like Brandon Jacobs, and there were two other
Tiki
guys.
Barber, Ahmad Bradshaw, and Brandon Jacobs. I
Look,
believe.
that is Cheers.
What about the old?
Cheers to you, sir.
So another one is the old Saints running back Ricky Williams and Deuce McAllister.
Deuce
Oh,
McAllister.
yeah, wow.
And there was another one in there too. Was Ronnie Brown was the Dolphins.
Well, I mean, remember Westbrook, Buckhalter, and Deuce Staley were
yeah,
on one team for the Eagles. That
Deuce
was a
Staley,
really
man.
stacked.
We always forget that Auburn was it Auburn?
Cadillac Williams and
and
Ronnie Brown, and I
and
think
McFadden.
Peyton Hillis or Darren McFadden, DMC.
No,
was-
Darren McFadden was
Darren
Arkansas.
McFadden and Marion Barber and Peyton Hillis all at Arkansas together, I think.
Good God.
Right?
Oh, fuck Arkansas. Joe's going to kill me. I swear he's going to come through the screen.
Well, he's already quit his job and apparently he's on his way.
Oh yeah, he's quitting his job. He's coming.
He said, "That's it. I'm quitting my job and I'm coming."
Hell yeah, dude. We didn't like Red Bull anyway. No, I'm joking.
We love Red Bull, Joe. We love Red Bull.
More of a
Yeah.
Celsius guy.
Oh, okay. Brooks, did you bring this over just for fun, or are we gonna?
Yeah, we going to do a
test some
shot, dude,
beverages
or
here?
what are we doing here, man?
Yeah, I mean, I just brought it over to see what you guys want to do.
We're talking
If
about
you want to
running
play
back
with
tandems.
it, we play with it.
Well, I don't know. You're the one.
Tickle my
nearest.
fancy. I'll form.
A little trivia question for you guys, and forgive me if we've done this on the pod before, but we were talking about running back trios and duos. Do you remember there was a Arizona Cardinals team that had 3 1,000-yard receivers? Do you remember those 3 receivers?
Bolden, Fitzgerald, and the
That
hardest
is correct.
and the
I can't even look at you right now.
Yeah.
I can't even look at
I
you.
can't care less.
Spanish Armada.
The annexation of Puerto Rico.
72, 73, 74.
God damn it! No,
That would be Steve Breston. Steve Breston.
I
Largements.
never got that.
Steve Breston Largements was a good fantasy football. Was a very good fantasy football
I'm
name.
bored out of the bottle.
All right, fair enough. Cheers, guys. Cheers, y'all. We're having a week, guys. Sorry.
See,
Preston Large. What a fucking.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. We got to get back onto some sort of track here.
Do we?
The
Do we
Terps are
though?
number 13. That's good. There's
that's
baseball going on. We're in Sarasota.
Why don't we do That's a Shame? I've been watching Full Swing Golf, and my That's a Shame is how much I personally did not enjoy Bryson DeChambeau. And watching the 3rd episode of Full Swing, or maybe the 2nd episode of Full Swing, how cool Bryson DeChambeau is. Like, he is just a good dude. He's a mad scientist. He cares about the game, and he cares about his fellow teammates. You see like what he talks about with the Ryder Cup stuff. It was just awesome to watch. So my That's a Shame is actually me for just being a dick and talking shit about Bryson DeChambeau for a long time.
Well, so I'll say this. He literally came out and like changed the whole narrative about himself in the matter of like a year or two. Because I mean, I think we all felt this way about Bryson for a while. It's like, all right, stop being such a fucking dick.
Yeah.
And he finally came out and started making fun of himself a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he did a great. I think it was 2 years ago, maybe last year, 2 years ago, when he finally made this change. I think it's right when he went to live, or right before he went to live.
It was right after he went to live. I
Right
think.
after he went to live, yeah.
And I remember giving him props. And I'm like, hey, thank you for owning it. Like you've done the most drastic heel turn move to babyface.
Face turn. Nice. We've got to talk some wrestling at some point on this podcast. We'll get there eventually.
We'll get there at some point. But I mean, he seriously, he turned that around faster and better than anybody I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, he did it. He did do a really,
it's hard
really
to go
great
back
job.
the other way.
Yeah, and if you watch that episode of Full Swing, you will see like how drastic of a turnaround it was, and how other players react to him now. I remember, especially Brooks Koepka. I remember like he walked past Brooks Koepka and his cleats were making noise on the pavement, and Brooks Koepka would turn around.
Like roll
now they're
his
like
eyes.
good friends because
now they're very close.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
close.
Because now Bryson is like, I think he started realizing like, hey, and once you become self-aware that people don't like you for whatever reason, I think it kind of helps you come out of your shell a little bit. I think that's what happened here.
Hey, if you guys are watching, is the screen flickering for you guys every once in a while as well? Just answer that in the comments at some point.
But also, this is society in general. We build you up, break you down, then build you back up, and that goes for all fields. Forget celebrities, forget sports. It's just that's what we do. I really enjoyed Bryson DeChambeau when he came up, and then I broke him down because he defected to live, and he jacked up and was eating 75,000 calories a day. I'm making up a number, and then watching him now, like he just looks like he's enjoying himself. And and watching him enjoy himself makes me enjoy him more.
Yeah. And when he won the US Open the first time during COVID at Winged Foot, he kind of broke the golf course because he was so much longer than everyone else at that point because he was the pool guy's here.
God.
We got another microphone.
So nice of you to show up.
The Cabana Boys are here. What's up, dude?
Oh man.
Oh, it's a woman.
Oh, it's a pool woman?
Yeah.
Whoa, what'd she look like?
Okay.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, it's your girlfriend.
We'll keep that to ourselves.
Okay. Anyway, I can't remember when he won the U.S. Open at Winged Foot. He was the first of the guys that got super jacked, and he was able to overpower that golf course. And usually at the U.S. Open, the focus is to hit fairways, and if you go into the rough, it's super penalizing, and that's why you see a lot of high scores at the U.S. Open.
What's that
and
mean?
he kind of took that out of what do you mean?
High score.
What's that mean? High score?
Dance Dance Revolution, baby.
Yeah.
DDR.
So he won that
Take
tournament,
Woody Allen
and also he
jacket
won
off.
it during COVID. So it doesn't get a lot of recognition for that. But when he won at Pinehurst last year after Rory collapsed, which he collapsed. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
That's what he does. It's what he does
it's-
best.
Yeah, and Brooks hates Rory, and I hate Brooks for that. But
I don't hate Rory.
yeah,
He's gotten better.
Yeah.
He's another guy who's come back around for me, but he pissed me off for a while.
that's fair. But the point of the story is that he had so much of the crowd behind him last year when he won at Pinehurst, and I think it's just such a glowing example of the turnaround that he has made. So that was a good. That's a shame, Bri. I like that.
Glowing.
Appreciate it.
My that's a shame is John Cena.
I can
Ooh.
someone
What a
explain.
shame.
I need
What a shame,
all-
John Cena.
I need this
You
explained.
were my hero.
I need this explained again, please.
Good.
Okay. Yeah. So
We'll let the true Dustin's way more into wrestling than we are, so we'll let you.
I don't watch week to week. I used to for a long time, but yeah, John Cena. He's been a good guy. He's been the good guy in the storyline for 20 years in a row. He does Make-A-Wishes. He preaches hustle, loyalty, and respect. He's like the pinnacle of the business, and he's the face. He hasn't been a bad guy since he first came up when he was super young. He joined forces with The Rock, who is a super bad guy right now.
The final boss,
and kicked the champion in the nards. Hit him. Got a Rolex on his hand and smashed his face in a couple
not
times.
only a Rolex, a presidential.
Ooh, I
A
don't know what that
presidential.
means.
I mean, that thing's like at least 50 grand.
Oh, okay. Well, The Rock's got unlimited money.
Oh, I know that, but I mean, I kind of want to be like, hey, throw that to me. Don't ruin that.
Punch Cody Rhodes in the face.
That's a sick watch. I don't want.
But anyway, yeah, this is kind of a joke. That's a shame because obviously it's scripted. It's a storyline. And Kate. But
picking
yeah,
up what you're putting down.
I thought it was. I just thought it would be a funny. That's a shame.
Yeah,
to
you
say.
just gotta-
John Cena is going to be a bad guy, which is actually awesome because he's in his last
He's
run.
never been a bad guy.
He
I don't think
he has, but it was like when he was in 2002. You know what I mean? It was a
Yeah.
really long time. It was way before he became John Cena.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's
and
why
he's,
that's a
and
shame.
he's officially retiring in December or
At the
something
end of
like
the
that,
year. Yeah. He's announced that this is going to be like his retirement tour, and every wrestling fan was just like, all right, well, he's just going to go do this like Hulk Hogan. I'm going to rip off the t-shirt
Send
and
him-
throw it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But he kind of swerved everyone, and everyone's really excited about it because it brought
Okay, well that's
brought
cool. I
people
mean,
back into
he
wrestling.
does a great job. He's a great actor too.
Mhm.
He does a great job.
I think everybody's going to be like rooting for him as the bad guy as well.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean,
He's going to be
Which
like
is
a cool
cool.
bad guy.
That's
Remember
which
when
which never
remember
really
with the NWO?
yeah,
The NWO was the first
and
one.
and Degeneration X, everybody
Yeah,
loved
yeah,
them.
exactly. Yeah.
Suck it, guys.
I mean, and
yeah,
originally Austin, like when Stone Cold Steve Austin came up, and he was going to be the bad guy, and Vince
But
McMahon was going to be the good guy.
yeah,
but
everybody-
hated McMahon and loved Austin. So he just
everybody
flipped
was like, hell,
and that
that's how
became,
the
like, the-
Attitude era
right.
started, really. Man,
Anyway, we don't have to talk that much
big wrestling podcast today, guys.
Hey, I love it.
Look, dude, it's the only thing that's been on my social media for the last like 2 weeks. So, anyway, Brooks, do you have a that's a shame, or do you want it? We can move on to
my that's a shame. I got a second that's a shame. Is Glenn Rothschild's having his first beer at 12:44 p.m.
Oh man,
Yeah,
Suck
Glenn.
it up, Glenn. Get on the line,
Hey, well,
man. Let's go.
his flight got delayed. I think he probably just got to the airport.
Hopefully, you guys are at Clancy's for a second.
Yeah.
Clancy's is our local Bradenton bar growing up.
That's a Glenn, you're better than that. That's why the Chargers never win.
Powder. He still said it to this day. Powder blue. Powder blue.
Powder blue. Powder blue.
Oh man, we had to get him a license plate bracket for his truck, and he wanted to make sure it said San Diego Chargers instead of Los Angeles Chargers. So we had to go back. And
Yeah,
find
he
out
will
those
not.
from
He will not put Los Angeles Chargers on
No,
anything.
He's not a fan of that.
No.
Miss you, Dad,
No, he's not a
Rothschild.
fan.
Miss you, Dad.
Ooh, X-Pac. Good one.
X-Pac was
Good
wild,
one.
man.
Good one by
Generation
Big Ten.
X. There we go.
X-Pac. Yeah.
X-Pac.
I always forget that X-Pac was a part of D-Generation X.
He was a part of the NWO too. So was Dennis Rodman.
I do remember Dennis Rodman. I do
Get
remember
the
Dennis Rodman.
There was a
Out of
match
here.
at
He
one
was,
point with Karl Malone and Dennis
Dennis
Rodman.
Rodman.
I
on
remember
opposing-
that.
on
Yeah.
opposing sides.
Would you want to run into Dennis Rodman or Karl Malone?
No,
in the alley? I would
absolutely not.
I don't want to run into Karl Malone anywhere in daylight. I don't want to run into
I
Karl
don't want
Malone.
to
That
walk
guy's
in.
a
I don't
terrible
want to
human
walk
being.
into Karl Malone. I mean,
Karl Malone.
Anyway, though, we're down in Sarasota and we haven't talked to any baseball.
No
yet. Do you
baseball
guys wanna Talk
whatsoever.
some baseball.
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm done.
Yeah.
The pool
Yeah, we
lady's
don't have
here.
to,
You
yeah.
know, we're good.
if she wants to join, then
Get out of here.
Oh man, I'm trying to see if there's anything.
Katie's gonna
going on.
kick my ass.
That was
Pool lady
a little
joins.
trade.
well,
the,
no, it's not anything like that. I just,
Oh, I know.
I think it'd be funny for her to come say hi.
the Rams traded one of their offensive guards who was scheduled to make $17.5 million this year to the Bears. Jonah Jackson. That just happened. Yeah. Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry for that silence there, guys.
There you go.
What's Glenn saying? I
Oh,
can't
what's
read
Glenn
that far.
saying? Yeah, it's two. And Brian, yeah, it's
much far.
John to Clancy. Oh, okay, all right. Love you, Glenn.
I love you, Dad. Hopefully you're having fun. Glad you're watching.
I did like I like what the Orioles put on the field yesterday.
Mhm.
It just looked like it was fluid. I also love that Steve Sagano got a little airtime, throwing that out there.
yeah.
And I also liked what Bautista did. I mean, throwing 6 pitches above 96,
Yeah.
looked fluid out there, and just it looked like the team flowed, and everyone looks like they're having fun. I also really enjoyed Cedric Mullins and the comments he had when he was mic'd up
He's the man.
in the first or second inning, whatever it was, whatever, early innings. And just the way he says, like, the team has continuity. And maybe he's saying that for the cameras, but also he's in a contract
leader.
year. So I just enjoyed the entire broadcast. Especially having Tim Kirchin alongside, who's a Baltimore, Maryland guy. You know, I just enjoyed that, and I liked everything I saw yesterday from ESPN. And great coverage, and thank God ESPN actually covered baseball instead of fucking talking about the Lakers, or what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, or if Dak Prescott's contracts can get renewed.
There was a point in the game yesterday. I think it was in like the
LeBron.
sixth
Oh
or
yeah, my bad.
sixth or seventh inning yesterday, where Buster Olney was interviewing who's the young shortstop for the Red Sox, like the 22-year-old Mayer,
whatever.
yeah. I think that's who he was interviewing anyway. But they were cut straight to Buster and that guy for like, I don't know, like half the inning. They weren't showing the game for like a solid while, a solid maybe 5 minutes. Guys, did you see that?
That was
right. That was
sexy.
I don't know if you
right
know this.
in the bucket.
I used to wear a former Gold Glove on this hand.
Oh, look at that! I like that you use
It's
former.
expired.
I like that
It's
you use former.
expired.
It's not longer. It's no longer gold.
You don't eat pizza with a fork and knife because you have a utensil right here, unlike Mr. Sean Boy.
How do
Yes.
pitchers win Gold Gloves? By the way, we'll get into this.
How do pitchers win Gold Gloves?
I want a Gold Glove. If you guys don't know, I pitched in college and I won a Gold Glove. How the fuck did I win a Gold Glove?
PFPs, dude. You were just chilling. You were doing PFPs.
You can't spell gold. That's the first part.
It's like, hey, don't make an error. Just don't throw a ball away.
I don't know. Ask Greg Maddox. He won like 18
He
of
won
them.
18 of them.
Anyway,
I think he might have more gold gloves than Brooks
I
Robinson.
think he does, which is crazy.
Brooks has 10.
Nah, he's got more than that.
like
He's
16.
No, he got 16.
17.
He got
16 or
He's got
17. Yeah.
so this is a weird. He's got like 15 or 16
Oh.
Gold Gloves, and the other number is his All-Star game. I always mix them up.
Yeah. I think Hank Aaron made 24 All-Star games, by the way.
Sounds about right.
That's crazy.
How do you play for
Can
that
you
long?
imagine playing for 24
He
years,
never
let
hit
alone
over
making the
40
All-Star?
home runs,
I know.
which is crazy.
Yeah. I was looking at Nolan Ryan's stats the other day, though. I think he pitched from like 66 to like 95.
Yeah.
Or something like
And
that.
I still think he could strike somebody out today.
Yeah. And then he hit 80 in like 2005 when he threw out the first pitch.
That first pitch, yeah.
He like hit like 85 when he was like 70 years old.
Oh,
I remember watching that, and I'm like, "Fuck, man, I'm throwing like 85 right now."
this guy is a geriatric motherfucker. There's ARP cards out here. You can throw the ARP card faster than you can throw a fastball.
Felix Bautista hit 88 on a couple splitters yesterday.
Yeah, right. Doesn't that make you feel bad about yourself? Christ.
Did we like what we saw out of Steve Sagano, our boy?
I love the control. I love how he's seems like he's very good at pinpointing locations, which I think is incredibly important. But
Speaking of Greg, I mean, kind of the Greg Maddox topic right there.
Yeah.
Is, you don't have to throw 96. If you can throw 90 with a little bit of movement,
Don't have to, but it's nice.
it helps.
It covers
It's
up a
harder to
lot.
hit when it goes faster.
It covers up a lot of mistakes. Is
Yeah.
really what it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really. What it
pitch to contact.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I thought Morton looked great.
Yeah.
I mean, his first inning was, I think, 4 or 5 pitches.
I mean, you say pitch to contact, but the amount of dudes in the league that just swing and miss at half the pitches now. I mean, you can pitch to contact and still probably walk out with a couple strikeouts.
We were talking about this at the bar yesterday. All right, so I want you guys. This is going to be live action for all you guys
We're gonna
watching.
get to this in a second. I'm just pulling it up.
Okay. All right. If you had a third strike call third strike call, how would you do it
Oh, as an umpire?
as an umpire?
Oh.
I'm a
I'd
bow.
have to get
I'm a throw it up bow and arrow guy.
All right, so what do you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing the same thing, but I'd have to get up to really show you.
I'm ripping the phone book.
Starting the engine.
What's the vocal range? Are we going like 11
I'm
on
going
the
high.
Okay.
You gotta go high.
Go
High low.
Palazzo.
High low.
High and low.
Yeah. I would probably do something similar to Brooks. I'd throw it up and pull it.
So
Maybe do the Fernando Rodney and just pull the bow and
Pull
arrow.
the bow
out of the back. I love that guy. Fernando Rodney.
Zach's a lawnmower guy from Lowdown.
Oh, yeah,
you're
I
ripping-
like
oh,
that.
you're ripping- oh,
man.
You
I like
are
that.
you priming it, Zach? And then
Oh,
you're
yeah. You hit the button a couple times and then you got to pull it.
Hey.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh man, this is good.
Shit.
Oh, all right. What's the
All right,
question we got
fellas,
here?
I need to talk about Zach Britton's comments on Povich. He's an elite starter, command, maybe best command in camp.
Really like hearing that out of the old trusty lefty out of the bullpen.
Okay.
Zach said, "Oh yeah, I'm priming it, baby."
Oh, yeah.
Former Lakeshore legend, Zach Moore.
Or Lakeshore legend.
Lakeshore
Oh,
legend.
Man. Lakeshore legend.
Man, the Lakeshore days.
Woods Road.
Yeah, yeah.
Woods Road. baby.
Apparently, that whole complex looks way different. I was texting with Zach the other day.
Really?
Yeah, they've just
I'd be
completely
interested in seeing
expanded everything down there.
I mean, every time I drive through that area of Maryland,
changes.
because I haven't been there so often, it's
Christ,
so
when
different.
did we move from? When did we leave Pasadena officially?
18, I think, 2018?
I think it was earlier than that, probably.
17 or 18,
Maybe.
I think.
I'd whisper in the batter's ear. What does it say, Austin?
Whisper in the batter's ear.
You're fucking.
He said,
You have to understand that guy is wielding a bat.
Austin said, whisper in the batter's ear, you're out, and then bow and arrow. Bye.
Bye.
We were talking about it. Like I just remember when we talked about this the other day. Like Joe West would just be like berating somebody, or somebody would be berating Joe West, and he would just be like,
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
I'm sick of hearing from you.
Yeah.
like,
Y'all out
it's
here.
like he's ordering a fucking cheesesteak. You know, he's like saying,
Yeah.
mm.
Oh, man.
But yeah, this is the Povich stuff is awesome.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Ryan's breakdown on Povich. Not something I thought of actually. So shout out Ryan Ripken for breaking this down. the way that Povich hides pitches, not something I caught on to that he was breaking down the other day. He does hide pitches very well with the way his body and his arm angle is. And
what do you when you say hide pitches? What does that? Because I don't even know what the hell that means.
So, like, baseball. I mean, for example, like you're gonna see the ball super late. So a lot of times, like you don't see the ball until he gets up here, right?
Yeah.
But with a lot of people, you can see it down here and you kind of follow it at times.
Mm-hmm.
But with Povich, like for whatever reason, his arm and his body kind of aligns very well. And I don't know if you guys can like tell by the screen at all. But they align very well to where you don't see it until it gets to
They're
here.
behind his body like the whole time.
Yeah.
So
Really?
you have to look specifically for this window.
From when he's up here.
Yeah.
Which is what coaches teach you.
Yeah,
you know,
of
hitting
course.
coaches will teach you.
Yeah, you
want to
look at look at the window.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but if you can pick it up early, there's no sense to not, right?
Because you were talking about an earlier podcast about like wrapping, like you would
yeah,
wrap your
I would
glove
tip
or you
pitches
would
back.
tip,
I tip with my wrist on my throwing hand. So I'd come down here and my wrist would. I'm trying to look at the camera at the same time. My wrist curls naturally when I would throw like from down here, but I'd hide it behind my
ass or whatever
back here. But like sometimes I get too much with it where you could see it back here a little bit from the batter's point of view.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I would tip.
Huh.
So there was a guy that I played high school ball with that kind of pointed it out to me, and he would point out a lot of the guy fucking mashed me all the time in inter squads, and he's one of the best players I've ever played with. Shout out Pat Blair, trying to have him on the podcast at some point, but he would literally point out to me when I was tipping stuff. And he's like, dude, I could see that the whole way because of this or that. And I'm like,
crazy. He was probably like,
and he's
16,
the only guy.
probably 16 years old.
He was a freshman when I
that shit
was, he was a freshman when I was a junior.
He went to Wake Forest, I think.
Yeah, he went to Wake and he
No,
played.
I think he's 1 year below you because he was a senior when I was a freshman.
Or maybe he is a year
Doesn't
below
matter.
me.
Regardless, he could tell.
Yeah.
Regardless, he was literally telling me as a freshman, and he's 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
Because he was not.
No, he's not because I didn't play with him.
You're right.
I made
Regardless,
varsity sophomore year.
You guys are getting lost in this.
Regardless, he was literally pointing all this stuff out. He was the only guy who would tell me, like, could see it.
Yeah.
And he would tell me. He also and I transitioned to hitting at a certain point. Calvert Hall is very much a college atmosphere. You either hit or you pitch. So I transitioned into hitting at one point during my career there, which a lot of high schools you're doing both, but at ours it's a fucking clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, he would tell me so much about hitting as a
From
young dude that hadn't gone through like all the college coaches. I mean, his uncle's Marty Blair. He played for the Orioles for a long time. He's been around Cal. He's been around everybody. Like he's been coached by everybody. I get it. But regardless, this dude taught me more about baseball as a pitcher from a guy who never pitched than I could ever even talk about. Like
Steve Blair in the Calvert Hall Baseball Hall of Fame, which exists now. Did you know that?
I do.
There are
John Kerry's going in
There are
this month.
three people in, and none of them played baseball at Calvert Hall. Lou Eckrell, Snooky Bender, and Steve Blair.
Uh-huh. Well,
Anyway.
John Kerry goes in this month, and he plays
Okay,
baseball.
fair enough. I just think, I don't know. Maybe Chris Bengal will get in there. I'm sure he will.
That'd be nice.
Maybe
Maybe Andy Bear.
maybe
What's
some-
Calvert Hall?
Who's that? What's her name?
Never heard
She
of it.
sounds hot.
She
Calvert?
sounds hot.
Calvert Hall?
Oh, by the way, Joe Racky says he doesn't need any prime on his new mower. So what do you have, an electric mower there, Joe? Did you buy it at Heckinger's?
Holy throwback. Heck Company?
Heckinger.
I'm going down to Hex.
Meet you at
Oh,
Boscov's, boys.
Laura, what are you doing? Laura
See,
said, nice Airbnb, guys. After we leave here, we're going to go to Publix, and we're probably going to be crawling here.
Oh,
in a
Yeah,
second.
we need to get.
We're going to
we-
be bar crawling
We
here
need to get
soon.
some beverages in this house that aren't just natural light. We also need to get some toothpaste in this house.
we have no toothpaste.
I need to brush
Between
my
the three
tooth.
of us, we have
I need to
zero
brush my
toothpaste.
tooth.
I need to brush my tooth,
We all need to brush our tooth.
or I'm going to lose my banana.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah. I'm so distracted now.
We're
I
off
don't even
the
know what
rails.
we're talking about. I know we were talking about Cade Povich.
I got
but-
my fraternity brother coming over too.
Cape Povich. So I guess I don't know if we ever saw the well. There's not much more to explain. He hides the ball very well. You don't see
Yeah.
it till it gets to the
Mhm.
window.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I mean, even if you catch it right here, that's I mean, pretty late, to be honest with you, because it's only staying here for a finite amount of time. It's not like it comes through the hitting zone or through the window very long.
Yeah.
But like if you can actually track the arm up into like the ball and hand and arm up into it, makes shit a lot easier.
Yeah. These are the little intricacies about baseball that I love. Like it's you don't have to do these kind of things, but if it's going to make your life easier, make you a better hitter. You know what I mean? So you try to pick up as much information from the pitcher as you can.
And when Ryan was going into this, it makes 93 look like 96 pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Without realizing it, because I remember last year watching Cade for a while, like a couple starts. I'm like, all right, I see it. I kind of see like a Cole Hamels-esque in him.
A lot of Max Fried comps too.
I think Max Fried has way better stuff, or at least I thought this last year. I thought he had way better stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm watching Cade. I'm like, yeah, I see it here and there, but I'm like, I'm not blown away by this guy. But looking into some of Ryan's breakdowns and looking into the spring how he's been throwing and using his pitches, I'm like, man, this guy could be pretty fucking dangerous, actually. Because I was lower on Cade and I didn't say much about it, just because I wasn't fully invested into what I was seeing yet. I was hopeful, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was sitting here watching him pitch, and I'm like, man, his stuff's like, I mean, it's good, it's okay, but it's not like blow me away, right?
Yeah.
It's not blowing me away. I was almost watching it like he could easily get hit around at any time if there's a hot lineup that comes through. I don't think he's going to dominate any lineup. But the more and more I watch this spring, I'm like, oh fuck, maybe he can.
Yeah, and I guess the Orioles have seen it. I mean, we put in a lot of faith in the guy. I think he's at least fighting for the rotation. I don't know necessarily that he's going to start in the rotation, but I would think he's going to be, one of the 6 guys fighting for 5 spots, unless we go to more of a 6-man thing, which we've talked about already. We don't need to get into that again, but
just it's going to be interesting to see, how they want to go about this. And I mean, at this point, again, I know we want to sit here and say, and I see a lot of people on Twitter say like, okay, he's beating out Suarez at this point. Suarez is 37 years old. The guy knows how to get ready. Obviously, he doesn't have a ton of time in the majors, but he knows what he needs to do to get ready.
Yeah, I mean, he's been pitching professionally for a long time, so he definitely knows what he's doing at this point. And we got a lot more out of him last year than we thought we would, and hopefully that continues into this year. But if it doesn't, we're going to need. I wanted to bring this up.
I was thinking about this last night. Actually,
I heard what you said.
Yeah.
So Pigtown said, I love our fans who complain about Elias trades that always forget about acquiring Povich for Jorge Lopez.
Yep.
Or Georgie Lopez.
Yep. And people were pissed about that because we traded him and Mancini like back-to-back days.
Yeah.
Or right in the same week.
And we got McDermott out of one of them, and we got Povich in the other one. Because a lot of people think that Povich came up, and I was one of them for a little bit because I wasn't sure. I thought Povich was drafted by us and came up through our system. No.
You know who the other guy in that trade was? The other guy with Povich that we got for Jorge Lopez?
Tell me it's Felix Bautista.
No, it's Yennier Cano.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. I'm sorry. Who's that?
Yeah. Just like, I don't know, our best bullpen arm of the last 2 years.
I don't know. People are pretty pissed about this Trevor Rogers trade and having let it breathe for a second.
Yeah. I mean, look, if Kyle Stowers goes out there and hits 214 this year, then you guys are going to feel a lot better about that trade all of a sudden.
It's the eye of the beholder bullshit. It's fucking instant gratification, microwave society trash.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this because we've done the same shit. Like all of us have done the same.
Well, you get knee-jerk reactions out of us too.
I mean that's
kind of
literally what we're supposed to do, right?
But but this isn't a hot take podcast. All right, look, Skip Bayless sucks. That's not a hot take.
No, but we say what we feel when we see it, but we're a little bit more like, all right, we understand baseball a little bit, so I don't think that we're as knee-jerk. Like we'll say something like, "Hey, that was fucking shit."
Yeah,
right.
But we let you,
or I don't like that, or whatever.
But we'll also let you breathe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what it comes down to. And in this knee-jerk reaction society where everyone's got to have a blame, you got to put a blame on somebody for something automatically.
Yeah.
Like did the Eagles win the Super Bowl or did the Chiefs lose the Super Bowl? Like you got to blame somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like
gotta have a hot take.
You got to have a hot take. All right. How about a cold take?
Yeah.
All right. Here's my cold take of the week.
Ooh.
Brian's cold
New
take.
segment. Brian's cold take.
Brian's cold take.
Brian's cold cuts.
Meatball subs are awesome.
That's
a freezing cold
not
take.
That's
freezing cold take.
Brooks doesn't like meatball subs.
Not
That's not
big.
a hot take because it's a cold
Jabo!
take.
I love Jabo. I'm an enjoyer of Jabo. I'm glad you've come over to the dark side.
Didn't a bunch of guys for Aptos take you, Jabo, one time?
Jabo stands for just a bit outside.
Oh, okay.
Aptos took me just a bit over the fence.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Just a bit over the fence.
I was getting into Yabo.
So I guess we need to tell this story.
Yeah, I don't know that we've ever told this.
We got to go with this one right now, man. Let's go.
I don't know. Let's start with this. This is a long story that I'm going to cut relatively short. There's a long song called, I think it's by U2.
Where the Streets Have
Streets Have No Names. It's about 8 minutes long. We went out to California my senior year of high school, being the number one overall team in the country.
Ranked by USA Today.
Ranked by USA
overall.
Today. Went into that. We went into this tournament with like the top 20 teams in the country, and we played this team called Aptos. And they're from California. And I got the start against that team. And let's just say we made it through about that whole fucking song, and that was their home run song.
Yeah. Whenever somebody was rounding the bases, they would play Where the Streets Have No Name.
As soon as the ball left
through the whole
we got
album.
real close. We got real close to making it through an 8-minute song for home run song through the home runs. I gave up a grand in this order: grand slam, home run, base hit, home run, pulled. Not how I started the game. I went 4 strong up until that point. I went 4 strong.
First fucking
It was that second or third time through the lineup that really got to him.
God, man, I'm starting against this junior. I still remember his name. His name's Einhorn or Eichhorn, one or the other.
Finkel is
Einhorn is Finkel.
And that literally what I
wish
thought.
I had a plunger.
Literally what I thought when I saw the lineup card. I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, all right, I'm dominating today, right? I started the game great, and there's a bunch of scouts there. I'm like major league scouts, not college scouts.
I mean, it's the top 20 high school baseball teams in the country.
Bunch of major league scouts there, and I'm like, all right, here's my chance, right? Pitching well, and until what happened in about the third or the fourth inning. It was relatively early on. I mean, there's only 7 innings in high school ball. And then I start realizing after we get through the first, we get to the second inning, and I'm like, these guys aren't here to see me. Fucking Einhorn or Eichhorn's throwing about 95, 96 as a fucking sophomore junior. And dicing up our hitters.
He's throwing 95 Ched.
Oh, so to put this in perspective, Garrett Cole was in the same tournament with us.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus
and
Christ.
In the same tournament. So we sold out Cal State Fullerton's baseball field playing. So the number 1 team, which was us, played the number 4 team in the country, which is the California team local to Cal State Fullerton. I can't remember their name. El Dorado. Oh, Christ, you remember it. I don't. And we sold out Cal State Fullerton's field. And I remember we lost. That was a good game. We lost that game, but we lost it by a run or 2. And it was a good game. And the next game right after that, which was like the next day after, we all showed up and watched the game. And Garrett Cole's pitching. And he just fucking obviously diced him up. And he's throwing 97. He's throwing 97 miles an hour. He's the same year as us. I'm like, how is a dude throwing like 97, 98? I like, we faced the Brandon Irbies, the Steve Johnsons in high school who were running up that. You just don't see that very often. Yeah. And then the next game after that, Garrett Cole's in right field, makes a diving catch on the line, gets up to his knees and throws somebody out, tagging from third base from deep in right field.
From his knees?
From his knees. From his fucking knees.
Kyle Bollard?
Yes.
Kyle Bollard. We're calling full circle.
On a fucking piss rod.
On a shit missile from
he made a diving catch. He made a diving catch on the right field foul line from 3/4 the way.
Like the Yoenis Cespedes throw that just got like this far off the ground.
From his, like he was 3/4 up the foul line towards like from like think of it as like from first base to the wall. He's 3/4 of the way to the wall. catches this ball, gets up on his knees, and just goes, one hop
I'm sorry,
on a
what did
fucking
he do
line.
again one time?
he just said, all
I
right.
can't believe you were able to recreate that noise
He
so
let me.
easily.
He goes, I'm gonna show off the howitzer right now, and just threw a piss rod one hop to the plate and threw this guy tagging from third base. I was like, we are not the number one team in the nation.
We're in trouble.
Turns out this team from Towson, Maryland is not the best team in the country.
We are not.
Trouble.
I literally watched that game and said last year's team would have been good in this tournament. We're still not the best team, but we would have been good in this tournament.
Yeah.
We are not the number one team, maybe not even the top 15 team in the nation.
Oh man.
Oh, by the way, on this note, speaking of piss missiles, our draft this week is best starting five.
So what
Go,
we're doing,
I'll let you go.
So what we were workshopping this just shortly before the podcast, but
while
we
butt
originally
chugging fucking Chipotle.
Yeah, Brooks was doing that, but Brooks ate a Chipotle bowl in such rapid succession that I can't explain to you guys. But anyway, we were thinking about doing. We're just all going to draft 5-man rotations, and we're not looking it up. We're probably gonna miss people. But what we ended up,
we were doing 4
exactly.
Okay,
but what we ended up deciding on instead was instead of 5-man starting rotations, that we were going to do 4 starters, 1 reliever. So we're going to do it snake draft style like we normally do, but we're going to do 4 starters and 1 reliever, and then you guys are going to be able to vote on who has the best rotation. Who would you want in a playoff series? However, you can put the criteria on it yourself. Who do you think is the best? Who do you think has the best 5 guys?
Yeah. So 4 starters, 1 reliever.
Correct.
And the reliever does not have to be a closer.
Yeah. It could be whoever you want.
Yeah.
Do you?
And we're not looking up anybody right now. This is gonna be top of head. We're not Googling.
Correct.
We're not Googling shit.
But
we
before-
literally
So
made
we're
this up,
gonna
but
forget. We're gonna forget
I
somebody.
have to give a shout out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but before we, go ahead.
Because that's the best part of the
No,
snake
go ahead,
draft, really.
Brian. Go ahead, Brian.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead and play this first.
No.
No.
Oh, no,
You
no,
talk first, Brian.
No, it's fine. I don't want to talk first.
What's this?
That's a little wing.
I thought it was a state.
Anyway, best part of our snake draft is so good.
How did you find that song?
I mean, it just really encapsulates the circus that this is, really.
And also, we have to give a shout out to Miss Katie Bauer for winning the fucking draft last week.
Yeah.
Let's
As
double
a
check.
guest.
Let's double
Yeah.
check.
Can we?
She was winning for a while.
We gotta make sure. We gotta make sure.
She's already won with me. Let's just call it that.
Well.
Well, that's a
Oh
loss.
my god!
Kidding. Boo.
Somebody boo that man.
Boo
that
man. But
Uh.
the fact that Katie came on for one day and won the draft is one that pisses me off. Shut Kenny Chesney number 1 overall.
That's fine. That's a good pick.
Kenny Chesney's great, but George Strait's a little bit better than Kenny Chesney.
I think I would agree with you.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
you know,
shit! She kicked our ass.
Did she really?
No. Oh no!
50%?
$50 million.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Katie,
wow.
damn
We
you.
lost. I lost to you. I had T Swift and Reba. I thought that was a powerhouse.
I had Dolly Parton and George Strait.
So here's the
coulda had
drafting.
George
Here's the
Jones.
drafting picks. Here's the order picks. So I get first pick for where I want to pick. Dusty, then Brian. I want to go.
The Jets have just released Devontae Adams.
Good.
Sorry.
Really? That's huge news.
Adam Schefter.
Holy shit! They were trying to
Just got that
trade him
on the
earlier.
watch here, guys.
I want to go. I want to go second
Okay.
So I get
because
to pick next?
I've got a number 1 pick. I've got 2 people who I think are a number 1 ready pick that I'm not sure who I want to go with. So
I've got a lot of guys, so I'm gonna go third here.
Okay.
You're going to go first.
So you don't have a choice.
Well, no shit. Picked up on that one.
Last game of the year, Brett. Can't do anything back now.
Can't do anything back now. All right. So my number one pick is my favorite pitcher of all time. And that is going to be Gregory Maddox.
The professor.
Okay.
Yeah. That guy like playing hot feet in the dugout.
Foot.
Hot foot.
Mhm.
Hot feet.
Give me Pedro.
Pedro's fine with me, man. I will take the big unit.
Damn.
Randy Johnson. And on my wraparound, I will take the Rocket, Roger Clemens.
All right. Nolan Ryan, baby.
Wow. We're going rapid fire here, by the way, guys.
Nolan freaking Ryan.
After you make your first pick, we'll do a little recap, and then you'll make your second.
I got it. I'm good. I know what I'm doing here. I've watched a game or two. I'm actually going to go Andy Pettit.
What?
I need a lefty. I need a lefty. Need a lefty. Need a lefty arm, man.
What's Andy Pettit over Sandy Koufax? You fucking moron?
What are you doing here? All right. Third place. See ya. You have the number 1 overall draft pick, and you're.
I went Andy Pettit because one, also loved that he had the glove over his face. All right, look, I got my likes. I'm not trying to win these things.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You're right. You never tried.
You're right. You're right.
That's
You're
for
right.
sure.
Glove over the face, and he could pick everybody the fuck off. All right. And then I'm also going Kurt Schilling.
Fuck, I know who couldn't pick people
my
off. Who I take
God.
over him is John Lester.
He would roll the ball.
He's
small.
fucking kicked the ball over there if he had
Getting
to.
insane.
Christ.
He just took 2 straight starters that are not in the Hall of Fame.
Wait, who
Kurt
did you take?
Schilling and Andy Pettit.
Oh my
Um,
God, dude.
But anyway, we'll recap the names at the end. But because we're still going, Brooks, I think you are up now.
I want an Andy Pettit bad.
I can
All
tell.
right, I gotta recalibrate.
As of right now, I have Randy Johnson
That
and Roger
reaction
Clemens.
was so amazing.
I have Randy Johnson and Roger Clemens. He has. Who was your first pick?
My first pick was Greg Maddox.
Greg Maddox. You have Andy Pettit, and you have Kurt Schilling.
Kurt Schilling.
Brooks, you have Pedro, and you have
Nolan.
Nolan Ryan. Got it. That's where we're at right now. Brooks is about to give his third pick.
Boo. What?
Yeah, you're getting booed, my friend.
It's all good, man. I'm cool with it.
The Jets will save $30 million in salary cap space, and
there's your
Adams
answer.
has
That's
no
why.
guaranteed money left on his contract.
That's why.
So Brooks, you get a pick here. What do you got? Sorry, I know we're jumping topics, but I'm just getting this information as it comes in.
Andy Pettit's off the board.
Yeah, we know.
Dude, he wouldn't have been in my top 30 probably. Good fucking God. Do I go with somebody who's just top of mind?
Top 5 position players. You're gonna take Bernie Williams, number 1.
No, no. Guitar players, Bernie Williams.
You're gonna take Bernie Mac from Mr. 3000.
Bernie
All right. So we're going
Ed the monkey.
we're going guys in their prime, I assume, right?
Yeah, everyone in their prime.
Timmy Lincecum.
Wow, the freak, dude. That prime was
That dude had
sick.
Was so good. 5 years, 5 years of his career,
2 Cy Youngs.
almost unmatched.
5
2
times
Cy Youngs.
WCW
I mean,
champion. Wow, that's a really, really good pick.
I almost went Mad Bomb before I went Pettit, but Tim Lincecum's great.
Let's see if I can make this happen again.
Woo!
It's like watching Pat White throw to Tavon Austin, guys.
Tell you
It's
what, they
just
don't give
awesome
out gold
here.
gloves for nothing.
Well,
You were the one saying you don't know
Jim
why you
Abbott.
got
I'm
the
Jim
gold
Abbott.
glove.
I don't.
Jim Abbott's my next pick. Don't tell.
Yeah, mine's gonna be Rick Ankiel.
Jabo, I would agree with your pick there, but I never got to watch him pitch.
Yeah,
besides,
I jokingly said Sandy Koufax earlier, and obviously I would take him, but he's just one of those guys that he's way
like,
before
I
my
mean,
time.
so here's the thing. We were talking about this a little bit before. Like, it's hard to take Cy Young, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we never saw him pitch. Who the fuck knows?
Walter Johnson had 110 strikeouts,
yeah.
like or 110
110
shutouts in his career.
shutouts, which will never be.
Which, yeah,
broken,
like, yeah, is he super dominant? But like, I never got to see him play, so I'm not going to take him. I'm not going to
I
take Bob
can't do
Gibson,
it.
who I
Yeah.
think should probably be in this draft.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I'm taking guys that I saw.
I'm going to take guys that I saw.
It's a
as
mixture
well.
of the guys that I saw of my favorite guys.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. I think my next guy, it's both active. The two guys I'm thinking of, and I get two.
I know
of them.
one of them. I don't know
I get
the other
two
one.
of them. Actually, can I take my reliever now, or do I have two left?
No, you can take one.
Okay, I'm
you
gonna
want.
take Mariano because
Okay.
he's the greatest reliever in the history of baseball.
Fair. I mean, actually, I think that's a great.
Yeah,
I think that's
I
kind of
probably taken about him earlier. But
I was
going
to say I probably should have taken him last pick.
Yeah. So I got Randy Johnson, Roger Clemens, and Mariano Rivera right now. I'm feeling pretty good about myself going into that. So I get one more, and it's either give me Kershaw.
That's what I was thinking.
And I know a lot of people are going to dig or dog me for that because of the playoff stuff, but I mean, his career ERA is like 2.6, guys. Like he is sick.
His career, for like a decade, his ERA went down.
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now look, obviously it's rising now because he's getting in advanced stage, but like Pedro was killer.
Yeah.
It was Pedro great.
If it's a one game thing, we all have dogs at the top. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna go. One of my there's two guys at the top right now that I want to. I'm gonna have to choose between the two because I'm gonna have to do a reliever next time. I've got to go with my original when I was little. One of my favorite pitcher of all time when I was younger was Barry Zito.
See, that's a great call
Big
because
hook.
I was actually thinking about Zeets.
Can you name how many other people in that rotation can you name for the A's?
I can.
Tim Hudson, Mark Mulder,
Rich Harden,
and Rich Harden. Yep. Well, Rich Harden was late. Like I think Tim Hudson got traded before Rich Harden got there.
If you ever look up Tim Hudson's stats at LSU as a hitter, dude batted like 400.
Oh, really? I didn't know that about Tim Hudson.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah.
What a stud that guy was.
Yeah. That's what I love about Moneyball. The movie is great. They never mention like three of the starters.
They don't mention like
mentioned
the whole
Scott
reason that
Hatteberg.
team was good because
Scott Hatteberg. That's great. He can play
David
first
Justice
base.
was like washed up, and then they made him a huge part of the
he's
movie.
eating fucking cereal.
They don't
and
talk
next
about
to a
Miguel
soda
Tejada,
machine.
Eric Chavez.
Yeah, hey Chavi, don't steal bases.
Yeah.
That's what you pay me to do. No, I don't. Yeah. Like they never mentioned Mark Mulder.
I love that movie, by the way. But you're so right. They did.
They just,
it's such a weird thing by how they introduced.
They
the
just
player.
like flick.
Chris Pratt is Scott Hatteberg. By the way.
It's going through.
Yeah,
that.
we're still alive. We just can't see it anymore.
Got you.
So Brooks took Barry Zito, so that's your fourth pick, correct, Brooks? So you get your final two. Yeah. So you get a reliever and a starter.
Yeah, I got you. I'm going John Smoltz.
Okay.
That's
your
my
starter or reliever? Okay.
That is my starter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then my reliever will be Eric Gagne.
Wow. The Vulcan changeup. That guy threw gas, and he took gas, I think. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to fight you on Eric Gagne or John Smoltz at all.
How about this? Joe Racky just brought up Dallas Keuchel.
Dallas Keuchel.
Dallas Keuchel is a Delaware legend.
Didn't know Dallas Keuchel was a
Delaware legend.
He's one of those guys who
played with Corey Phelan.
He won a Cy Young and just fell off the face of the planet. Went to the White Sox on I believe, a pretty big contract. Just
Mark Burley is honorable mention.
Dude, Mark Burley is one of those guys that he's a Hall of Very Good.
He's a Hall of Very Good.
Hall of Very Good legend. Yeah. There's so many of them.
There's so many great relievers.
After we finish the draft, let's go through the Hall of Very Good stuff because I want to talk about that. But anyway, Brooks, he is done with his draft. You have one more selection. Who is your reliever going to be?
Who is my reliever going to be?
Mariano, Eric Gagne, and John Smoltz are all off the table.
My reliever is going to be
BJ Ryan.
You say Kelly Gregg, I'm going to fucking kick you right here in from the seated position.
I would RKO you after the drop kick.
So I gotta go with I'm between two guys right now.
We're talking prime too, so there's a name that I think that you got in your head. Well, there's a couple names.
Goose Gossage.
A couple lefties in my head.
Well, yeah, actually, or both. No,
a lot of
Rodrigo
lefties actually.
He's not a reliever.
Chris Ray, take him.
He's not a lefty either.
Yeah,
he's also a starter, but he did turn to a reliever. Give me Billy Wagner.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, he's a righty and a lefty.
You're gonna win.
Yeah.
You're gonna win.
You think he's gonna win? Well, you're not gonna win. You got Andy Pettitte on your team.
Number 2.
He is one of the best postseason pitchers of all time. I guess I shouldn't have given
that's
you so
what
much
that's
shit.
what I'm getting at. I want a dog, man.
Yeah.
I want a dog. That's why
I
want
mean,
Kurt
look,
Schilling
there's
as well. I
probably
want
some
dogs.
people in the comments that will take Andy Pettitte over Clayton Kershaw because of the playoff
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
All right,
you
so
want
we're
Clayton
getting,
Kershaw?
we're getting a lot of shit for Joe Radke, Eckersley.
We mentioned him earlier.
Eckersley was one that we were all like probably, but I never watched
I
him
never
pitch.
really watched him pitch.
I see highlights, but I mean I can't appreciate it.
And he gave up the most famous home run that I know. Yeah, I know is the Kirk Gibson home run.
And Kirk Gibson said that like Tommy Lasorda and I guess they had
I'd say
another
Raleigh
secondary
Fingers.
scout. Like they had like when he gets to whatever count that Kirk Gibson was in, he would throw that backdoor slider. So he was sitting on that pitch.
Yeah.
And he had one fucking leg.
Yeah.
And he fucking belted a 340-foot home run.
So my other lefty I was thinking about was possibly Andrew Miller. Was one of the
exactly
Andrew
the
Miller
name I was saying when
one
I
of,
said lefty.
I mean one of the best stoppers of all
I was
time.
thinking of him and
Without a
Chapman.
doubt. I remember seeing him at North Carolina.
watched-
University of North Carolina, and he was stunning.
I watched him live at the College World Series in Omaha when he was at UNC playing he pitched against Rice that day.
The Rice Owls.
The Rice Owls.
Yeah, back when Rice was a dominant.
Nolan
baseball
Ryan's a
team.
Rice guy.
Back when Rice was. This was probably my freshman year of high school. We were down there. Out there, at the College World Series. We were playing in a tournament, and Rice was staying at our hotel along with UNC. And I was like, I watched them walk by, and I'm like, I'm never gonna play college baseball. These guys are so fucking big.
They're huge.
Yeah,
they're huge.
Okay, I get one more starter, I guess. And I want to go from a childhood. I want to go for a childhood favorite here because I think I have this kind of locked up, in my opinion here. And we're only going prime here, so we're not going to take the whole career. I'm going to take Johan Santana.
That's a great call.
So when I was thinking about Zito, I was like, all right, Johan or Zito.
Yeah.
Who am I going with? Yeah.
I'm going to take Johan. That guy was unbelievably dominant. He won 2 Cy Youngs in 3 years. And if you look at the year he didn't win, which was the year that Bartolo Colon won, he had like a 2.5 ERA, but he had like 15 wins. And Bartolo had like a 3.5 ERA, but he had 20 wins on the Angels. And that's back when they just cared about wins and not ERA.
Yeah.
Which I think matters because, your team wins the game. It's important. But
there's so many honorable mentions. There's so many people we're leaving off.
Yeah, we're leaving.
We
three at a
understand.
time.
didn't say
Three at a
Mussina.
time.
Yeah.
Three at a time. Go. You got
Go.
Three,
one.
what, honorable mentions?
Yeah, at a time. You already said Mussina.
Mussina, Aroldis Chapman is the most dominant closer of this era, I think.
Mm-hmm. After once Mariano left. Yeah.
Verlander.
Yeah.
Scherzer.
I'm going Scherzer. I love Mad Bum. I love Madison Bumgarner.
I mean, he's a big game pitcher.
Dog.
Big game
dog.
pitcher.
And that's why, and I'm going to give my last one here in a second, but the reason I didn't take like a Bob Gibson or something like that, and I went with Andy Pettitte, is because what we talked about, how we didn't get a chance to watch Bob Gibson. Because Bob Gibson's a guy I want.
Probably one of the top 3 pitchers of all time.
Yeah.
But I don't know that.
He plunked a guy in spring training because he hit a home run off of him in the previous year. Like, that's a dude I want on my staff.
That doesn't make you a good pitcher, by the way.
I don't give a shit.
No, but the mentality does.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
It makes you feared. And then, damn. Shit. One more. I get one more honorable mention. I got to go Tommy Glavine.
Yeah.
I got to go Tommy Glavine. I got to go lefty, pitching outside, always away. I got to go Tommy Glavine.
So my number one honorable mention that I'm upset I never brought him in because I think he's one of the most tactical pitchers of all time. He actually taught me a lot watching him and reading a lot of the stuff that he put out there, how to pitch, was Roy Halladay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Love Roy Halladay. He's one of my favorite pitchers of all time.
Talked about enough.
Without a doubt. Coached against him, by the way.
Which
is crazy.
Another Roy Oswalt.
Yeah.
As a 5'10",
dog.
as a 5'10" dude that was throwing 96, 97 miles an hour, keeping up with the big boys. Like I loved his mentality.
Those old school Astros teams were loaded.
Oh shit! I just
That's
lost.
a guy I completely forgot of.
Just lost my last
Forgot
one.
about.
Motherfucker.
Sorry, take the time. I'll
How did I just forget about this?
Matthew Cain was with me.
Just Matt.
I mean, Francisco Liriano was so good for a couple
dirty.
years.
CC was dirty.
Well,
CC with the Brewers.
CC Brewers second half.
Where he was just getting fucking absolutely abused by the Brewers. They were like, "Hey, we got nothing to lose here. We're just gonna fucking throw him out there the entire goddamn time."
Granke's a good one.
Granke would never.
King
I
Felix.
would say Granke cracks my top 15. He'll never crack my top 5.
Yeah.
Jacob DeGrom.
Jacob DeGrom's prime and best years are better, if not the best of all
You
time.
can stack them up against any pitcher in baseball history.
Jacob DeGrom is he's right there.
He just cannot stay on the field.
Just can't stay healthy.
Like, that's the only reason I
Can't
didn't
stay
take him is because he can't stay on the
He just
fucking field.
cannot stay on the field.
King Felix, man, and the King's Court. I mean, hell, he had the King's Court at Camden Yards.
He had 10
and he
and
played
never
for
pitched.
the Mariners.
never pitched for us. Hey, and the Orioles had him on the minor league roster.
John Franco is a
older
great one.
like guys that you don't like, Jason Schmidt kind of guys.
Ooh.
Remember that guy, like Sidney
Yeah.
Ponson kind
You
of.
know,
guys?
Jason Schmidt always like every time I hear the word every
John
time
Wetland.
every time I hear Jason Schmidt, I think Jason Johnson as well.
Jason Johnson.
Jason Johnson,
With the red
Yep.
reddish brown glove.
Josh
Oh,
Beckett,
man.
Josh Towers,
Beckett and Burnett. Beckett and
Dude.
Burnett.
Beckett and Burnett, dude.
Beckett and
Oh,
Burnett.
man. I did a shot at Kirby's with AJ Burnett once, and it was awesome.
He's a good dude, man.
He is.
He's
the
a great
nicest
dude.
guy
So
ever.
great.
He was so cool. I was like fangirling so hard when I met him, and he was so nice.
Who were some of those Mariners?
He is
pitchers?
tall as shit.
Yes,
too.
he's
Nobody
huge.
said
Tall, lanky, and tatted. Like you would not
No.
like you see
He's-
it. You
he
see
has
his
that
sleeves.
sleeve.
You
He's
see
got
his
the sleeve,
sleeves,
yeah.
but the dude has leg sleeves as
Yeah.
well.
He's
Like
also got
he's
neck
tatted from head to
sleeves.
toe,
Yeah.
head to
He's a
toe,
turtleneck.
head to toe.
Yeah.
He's a turtleneck to his toes.
Yeah.
Who were some of those Mariners pitchers when it was like Griffey and A-Rod and
Well, they
Edgar
had
Martinez,
Randy Johnson. They had Jamie Moyer.
Jimmy Moore?
They had Heathcliff Slocum.
There we go. Now we're
What
getting into
a-
They had
the
Armando Benitez, Arthur Rhodes. I think might have been on that team.
Rhodes. I
don't know if Arthur Rhodes was on.
He
that
was
team,
in and out
actually.
of. He was there. I think Arthur.
Flash Gordon was fuck.
Flash Gordon is a TV character.
Well, his nickname's Flash.
Yeah.
Just mess with- Flash.
No, I think Rhodes was there when he was later in his career.
Yeah.
When he was, because remember when Arthur Rhodes had like a resurgence and like for whatever reason he went and played indie ball for a little while, and then for whatever reason he made a weird comeback after a little while and was like pitching and made an all-star team when he was like 38 or 39.
Yeah.
You know, one that's brought up here. I'm sorry.
One we missed.
By Austin. Doc.
Who? Doc Holliday?
Don Drysdale,
No.
Roy Halladay.
Oh, well, I mean, okay. So you call him Doc Holliday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never called him Doc Holliday. I always think of fucking
Doc Holliday's.
Oh no, Doc Gooden.
Doc
You're thinking of
Gooden,
Doc
yeah,
Gooden.
yeah,
That's who you said. Flash.
Doc. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
but he was-
Flash.
Oh no,
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon. Sorry.
Doc Gordon was fucking killer. The fact that he won a World Series
On LSD.
and watched the fucking parade while doing cocaine in his apartment in New York. That's crazy.
John Rocker.
John Rocker.
John Rocker's about to fight Patrick Mahomes Sr.
Oh, man.
What about some underrated closers back in the day? Remember Brad Lidge?
Randy
Remember,
Myers,
Jason
Brad
Isringhausen?
Lidge, Jason Isringhausen.
Israel, man.
Chad Papelbon, we didn't even say. Kimbrel.
Papelbon's douche.
What about like Brandon Webb?
Brandon
Brad Penny?
Man, there
Those
was
guys
a
are
hard
some
throwing.
good
There was a guy that was
pitchers.
throwing 100 miles an hour that I used to throw with in Pennsylvania. He used to play for the Area 51s, and then he was in the majors for a while. He was dominant.
The Area 51 is such a cool name for a
Holy
team.
Verlander's a stud.
Why am I
Yeah.
blanking on his name?
Verlander's sick.
Played for the Nats. Shit.
He threw how far?
Oh, he lives in your town. Dude.
Sean Doolittle. Jordan Zimmerman. I'm
Well, that's
just
Drew
naming Nats.
Storen.
Just naming Nats. Drew Storen? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Drew Storen lives in Zionsville, and so does Tucker Barnhart.
Yeah. Anyway, this is just three dudes naming baseball players at this point.
Yeah,
so.
hey, we're just vamping at this
Yeah.
point. Hey, it's been a fun time.
Yeah.
Guys, there is a lot to
No one took
happen.
Tim Mesa.
Oh, man.
Don't get me wrong.
Think about that.
That's cold blooded.
Don't get me wrong. Tim Mesa is one of my favorite human beings of all time.
He's the best.
We could have done that.
I can't take a guy who started number 3 in the rotation that I was number 1 in. Can't do it.
His coach sucks.
Fuck you, Tim.
That guy plays baseball professionally and makes money from it. This guy does.
This guy does not.
Anyway,
There is so much to come from the next couple days.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to just.
We'll be live for most of it down here. So if you are a Huckleberry, sign on there. You probably saw. If you're not a Huckleberry and you don't know what happened earlier, Brian literally walked into the house, dropped this stuff, and walked back to the pool and jumped in fully closed.
Fully clothed.
And you ask, shoes and all.
yeah, shoes and all.
Shoes
His
and all.
hey-dudes
The whole-
are
His
still out in the
hey-dudes are
sun.
still out there.
Yeah, trying to dry them off.
They're sunbathing, and that is just the tip of the iceberg.
So you'll have us live at the bars tonight,
Yeah.
bar hopping.
Yeah.
We're gonna literally go to Publix right after this, get some food for the house, and then we're probably gonna start hopping. So
Yeah.
Join the Huckleberries, come hang out with us. So-
It's going to be a really fun week down here in Sarasota. We're going to have actual reporting live, like from spring training, from the facilities. We're going to be over there.
Yeah.
Today, Brian just got here. We're getting our feet wet. We had to do the pod.
Literally got my feet wet.
Yeah. He got everything wet, just not his feet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Brian's
I'm
leaving.
Friday.
Brian's
I'll leave
leaving Friday. We're leaving Saturday. Excuse me. So yeah, we will have a ton of stuff for you guys this week. Thank you guys so much for supporting us and watching us. And we appreciate it. And as we always do, Brian is going to send us.
Yes, always. Mental health, major thing. I got a friend. I got my roommate named Kyle Roach. I love you. I care about you very much. And I know you're going through a tough time. And you take care of yourself up in Delaware or Rhode Island, whatever one you're staying in. Being down here has made my smile, which is normally very large, even larger, because being with these guys kicks ass. And I wouldn't trade this shit for the world. So love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And let's have a great fucking week.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, shout out Curtis. My buddy Curtis lost his mom this week pretty suddenly. So shout out Curtis. We're thinking about you. We love you. And, I'm sorry to end it on a sad note, but we have to mention,
Hey, look, sometimes you have to end it the way it is. But Curtis, I hope you're doing well. I don't know you, but
you do.
take care of yourself. Which Curtis?
Yeah,
we can do a shot to end it.
You guys
We
do a
don't-
shot.
we-
I'm gonna
You gonna chug a beer?
I'm gonna shock.
We don't get an opportunity to all be together at the same time.
Is
So
there- can you pour Brooks one? And I'm
yeah, I got you.
By the way, guys, what do you think is the best tool for opening a beer for a shotgun? Because I think a butter knife is the optimal tool for shotgunning.
I'm going the actual
Just a key?
no. I'm going.
Are you going to get me a butter knife? Thank you.
I'm actually going the knife on the end of a bar key, like a wine opener. And that knife that's on.
That's not a knife. Sorry,
It's
that
a
was
knife.
that was my Paul Hogan impression. It looks like a chopstick.
That's
Well, I don't know that my theory will be proven correct because this is a bullshit knife. This is not a butter knife.
it's a bullshit knife.
This is a cream cheese knife. This is not a butter knife. Yeah. Joe,
Also, Bruce Raven does hats look awfully.
yeah. Yeah.
Joe Racky.
Yeah, sorry that
And
you're not
Brit-
able to share this week with us. I hope that you're going to be able to watch as much as possible. And that's part of the reason the Huckleberries are so awesome, that we're going to be live for a lot of this. And
This is
Honestly-
going to be a ridiculous week.
yeah, it's going to be. What do you need? Shot?
There's shots right
All
there.
right. Sitting down shotgun, by the way.
Sitting down shotgun,
Interesting.
underrated. Cheers. This has been another episode of Gary Williams Soho Lawn Furniture.